Et nous voyons que vraiment, il n'y a pas des Africains qui disent, voilà, maintenant, Jean Maligne a telle idéologie ou a telle autre. Ensemble, on cherche à converger sur la recherche du bien-être des citoyens du monde. On veut le bien-être des citoyens du monde parce qu'on est dans la mondialisation. Il faut qu'on accepte d'aller ensemble, gagner ensemble, perdre ensemble, parce que la vie de l'homme, c'est universel. Donc, c'est mieux de nous accepter et d'accepter d'aller ensemble.
In 30 years, we have put together a momentous organization that has brought together 640 million people with a combined GDP of $1 trillion. And today, with a trade volume of 14 billion US dollars. Your Excellency, there is every reason for the drums of success to go up. There is every reason for us in this summit to celebrate 30 years of COMESA.
In a world where commodity prices and diaspora engagements are pivotal to interstate relationships, where trade and investment agreements make way for diplomatic engagements, and where we are witnessing a smaller role for politics vis-à-vis social media, artificial intelligence, and economic interactions, COMESA programs, tools, and institutions are indeed the indispensable partners for development in member states. Greetings to you. My name is Dr. Dennis Matanda, and over the past 21 years, I have worked and been associated with several COMESA institutions. Throughout this period, the three things that continue to stick out for me are, first, how deliberate COMESA has been in designing tools, frameworks, and institutions to address the region's unique economic challenges.
Well, I think if you look at our tagline for our celebration, it's 30 years of COMESA impact. And for me, that is very important, because at the end of the day, whatever we do must have an impact, a positive impact on the population and citizen of the region. Everything that we do must have a result. And I think for me, as I work, as I carry out my roles and responsibility, at the back of my mind is, am I having an impact? Is this action, is this program uplifting? Is this program having an impact? I think that's really what drives us as COMESA.
When you say COMESA, for me, I hear business because it was meant to be a common market for Eastern and Southern Africa. And many people, by the way, they knew COMESA by what they call a transit guarantee scheme, by what they call the yellow card, the insurance scheme. That's what COMESA was known for.
We all have a very important role to play in enabling and creating opportunities for people to be productively engaged somehow. So there's no silver bullet, but I think everybody needs to do their part. So facilitation, engagement, open-mindedness, being helpful, and really just trying to go that extra mile to make sure that things are attractive for those who want to invest.
And by the way, why I speak beyond the COMESA region is because investors don't necessarily come from COMESA region. You know, you could be all the way from the Americas and you have set business here. If you are a legal person established here, even though your genesis is not from the continent, from the region, you actually have a standing before the court. So you don't have to bring your member state from the Americas to come and represent you in the COMESA court. You have a standing in your own right. So the court is there to ensure that the rule of law is maintained within the COMESA region. If
you look in other regions, there are institutions that look like a TD. You can call them political risk insurers. Look at any region, Latin America, Asia, India. There was none for Africa. Yeah. So Then COMESA decided, okay, we realized we need a political risk insurer or somebody who stands between the private sector and the governments that can keep the governments honest to their word and also keep the private sector honest to their commitments.
Of course, we are locally grown, right? We're talking about the African stories, the African group stories, success stories, who were set up by COMESA member states. And the idea was to, even that time, to develop our own capacity to keep money in the region because a lot of reinsurance premiums were going up. It still is the case, but to a lesser extent, and develop and use the money to develop the region, and that's what we are doing. I mean, if you see the kind of footprint we have across Africa in terms of where we're investing in government infrastructure bonds, in banks, in real estate, in buildings that we have, in the people, that has come from a homegrown initiative.
It's not in all regions of the world, it's not in all countries of the world that the private sector can speak to the heads of state about their concerns. And I think that's at the